For the first time, Australia has recognised the legal existence of...
As Prime Minister of Australia, I am sorry.
Hi, I'm Lydia Williams. I am a proud Noongar woman from Western Australia, and I play for the women's national team, the Matildas, and also Arsenal Women's FC. My childhood was actually really cool. I grew up in Kalgoorlie in Western Australia. My mum, she's American. My dad, he's Indigenous. So most of the time when it was Christmas, I'd either have kangaroo tail and damper, as well as pumpkin pie and turkey on the table, which was pretty incredible. But at the same time, it was hard as well because I wasn't sure of which culture I really was. I wasn't fully black and I wasn't fully white, so for me it was a little bit of a confusing time growing up. I know now it's amazing. I can be multiple cultures. I can, not identify as one or the other, but be proud of both equally. My parents were missionaries, so we used to go out in the desert quite often. Usually multiple times a year to different Indigenous communities. I got to play with the tribal kids. I learned how to kick a football or a footy barefoot. I played everything barefoot. I think it took my parents a little while to convince me to wear shoes. When we moved to Canberra, I think I was 11 years old. I came a little bit late to registration day. A goalkeeper was the only position left, and I was like, oh yeah, why not? I'll get rotated around, and I never did. So I kind of got stuck with being a goalkeeper when I was 11, 12 years old, and I've never looked back since. I realised I wanted to represent Australia when I watched Cathy Freeman race at the 2000 Olympics. It was incredible watching a strong Indigenous woman race with the whole world watching, not only her country, and winning it. So right now to be playing for Arsenal in London is just, it's what dreams are made of. I never really thought that this would have happened growing up in the desert. I still kind of have to pinch myself sometimes that I learned how to kick a footy barefoot, and then now I'm over here in London, and I've represented Australia multiple times at different World Cups and Olympics.
Williams, a spectacular save!
I started writing children's books, mostly because my life is pretty crazy. It's about little Lydia, who is growing up in outback Australia and is always competing against her friends, the desert animals. I think it's, really helped kids understand that, no matter what your background is or how you grew up or whatever situation, you can always go out and have fun with your friends, you can play sport, and mostly the books are about self-belief and perseverance. I think being an Indigenous role model or a footballing role model for me is pretty incredible. I don't think I would have thought that I would be, but to just inspire one kid is enough for me. I think that's my job done. But to be involved on a bigger scale and bigger level, I think that would be the ultimate goal. I think, giving hope to Indigenous kids out in the desert and in different communities. My hope for the next generation of young Indigenous people is to go out there and be leaders, that they're fearless and they're confident.